শিব জয় জয় গোরা চাঁদে আরতি শোভা জয় ও জয় শিব জয় জয় গোরা চাঁদে আরতি শোভা জয় জানাবে তটবনে জগমনল দেবা দক্ষিণ নিতায়ে Swame Gadadara Dake Enenitai Tavane Nikate Advaita Shini Vasa Chhatradhara Base Ache Gorata Yatta Simhasane Basi Ache Arati kare na Brahma Adi Devagane Shivanara Hari Adi Kare Chamara Dhulaya Nara Adi Kare Sanjaya Mukunda Baso Gochadigaya Shankar Baje Kanta Baje Baje Korotala Shankar Baje Kanta Baje Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Madhur 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 Baje Madhur Madhur Madhura 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 baje madhur madhur Shanka baje Kanta baje madhur 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 baje Shanka baje Bol Shanka baje Kanta baje madhur 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 baje Shanko baje madhura 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 baje madhura madhura baho kote chandra jine vadana ujjvala baho kote chandra jine Deshvana mala kore jhalamala Deva Shiva Shukana Rada Preme Gadagada Shiva Kative noda dekhe Gorar sampada Deva jayo Jaya Gora Chandin Arati ka shobha jayo jaya gora chande arati ka jana vidata vane jaga man lobha bol abine Jaga jana mana lobha jaga jana mana lobha jaga Rangara rate kashaba jaga jana mana lobha Gaurangera rate kashaba jaga jana mana lobha jaga jana mana lobha jaga jana mana lobha Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namah Namaste सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पचतो देशतारिणे नमस्ते। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य हरि ओम। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो भक्तवृंद बोल हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 हे हरि बोल हर ज्ञान एवरीवन सब गाइए कृष्णा 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Bola Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Bola Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Bola Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bola Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bola Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Bola Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Bola Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Raman Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya. Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Raman Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya, Hare Krishna. Radha Raman Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hare. Bola Jai Satchinandana Jai Satchinandana. Bola Jai Satchinandana Gaura Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Bola Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Jai Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jai Jagannath Swami Jaya Jagannath Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Swami Jaya Jagannath. Jai Jai Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jai Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jai Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jai Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jai Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavaturi. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu Me. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu Me. Jagannath जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भवा तुम्ही जगन्नाथ स्वामी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Har bol Har bol Har bol Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Hola Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare गाइए गाइए बोलो Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Bola Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Chan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Bola Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Bola Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Nittai Gaura Tunga Jaya Nittai Gaura Nittai Gaura Tunga Jaya Nittai Gaura Tunga Nittai Jaya Radha Madhav Radhe Radha Madhav Radha Bola Jaya Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jai Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada जगद्गुरु शील प्रभुपदा हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय ओम विश्वपाद परमत परिवराज अष्टोदशी हृदयवांज देते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी चर प्रभुपाद महाराज के जय। जय ओम नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट अष्टोदश भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर चल प्रभुपाद महाराज के जय। गौर के किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज के जय। सच्चिदानंद भक्ति मनु ठाकुर के जय। श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज के जय। चढ़ गोस्वामी के जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद के जय। नामाचार्य शल हरिदास ठाकुर के जय। प्रेम से गौ जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तविंद के जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोधन के जय। श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम के जय। मथुरा श्री द्वारका अयोध्या धाम के जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुर धाम के जय। भगवान जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुधादेव के जय। श्री श्री राधा माधव जी के जय। श्री श्री निताय कुन सीताय गौर सुंदर के जय। गंगा माँ यमुना माय के जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महाराज के जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन के जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंदिर के जय। इस्कान बाल्टीमोर यात्रा के जय। हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ऑल समिट विद हरे कृष्णा। ऑल समिट विद हरे कृष्णा। ऑल समिट हरे कृष्णा। ऑल ग्लोरी ऑल गौरंगा गोपाल।
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय। प्रह्लादनादिदायिने हिरण्याकाशिपूर्वक्षः तिलताङ्कानखालाये तिलताङ्कानखालाये इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह इतो नरसिंह तो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह हे नरसिंह हे हृदय नरसिंह हे नरसिंह हे हृदय नरसिंह नरसिंहाराधिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहाराधिं शरणं प्रपदे कर कमलवरे नखाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार बालिता हिरण्यकाशिपु तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे नर कमल वरे नखाभूत श्रृंगार हिरण्यकाशिपु तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा Jayo Jagadish Hare, Jayo Jagadish Hare, Jayo Jagadish Hare. Hare Nakam Hiranagasipu Manurenga Kesavadisa Hari Rupa Jagadish Hare Jayo Jagadish Hare Jayo Jagadish Hare Jayo Narsingadev 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 Jayo Narsingadev 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 Jayo Narsinga Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad नरसिंह भगवान की जय भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we welcome everyone to New Kunyanakam, Baltimore, the board of Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai, and Shri Shri Radha Madhav. So good to see so many devotees. I think there may be many more devotees coming, so requesting all devotees to come a little bit forward. There's plenty of space. First of all, I'd like to thank you, the pujaris. I think deities are looking so amazing, so beautiful. So we can loud Haribol for them, please. So today, Jayalalita Mataji and their team has cooked today. So it'll be wonderful prasadam today. Haribol for them. And we have one enormous sponsor for their mother. Priyambad Khanal's Punya Tithi was there today. So we'll just pray for their memory. We can just chant Hare Krishna 3 times, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there are some excellent news. Everybody knows. Okay, everyone knows that His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj is here in town. So he's in Atlanta. And I'm very happy to announce that 2 of our devotees got initiated. Mitesh Prabhu and Himali Mataji got connected to the Parampara. Their names are, Mitesh Prabhu's name is, because he loves Madhav, is Madhav Devki Sutta Das, and Mataji is Harikanta Rukmini Devi Dasi. Haribol! Shyam Prabhu, you have an announcement? Come forward. Also like to thank you, Sunil Prabhu. He went to today, Walmart, and there was apprehension that Walmart won't allow us to do it, distribution, but he went to parking lot. He said, whatever Lord's mercy is there. And he, by himself and his family, did 12 Bhagavad Gitas, 1 Punjabi Bhagavad Gita, and coming back, 1, so total 15 books he distributed. Haribol!
Hare Krishna. So, quick festival announcement. Sorry, I'm not in Dhoti Kurta. We are working outside a little bit. So, first, most of you know that we have next week that Ram Navami festival. So, that will be on 10th. So, we'll have celebration here in the temple. The program will be in the evening, starting from 4:30 onwards. 5 o'clock onwards, we'll have program here in the temple. And then following that, we have a Homa, which is next month. So we have put the information in the lobby. We have also posted it online. We have a few cards there. If you could take those cards and distribute it in your surrounding, invite people to come for the program. We also have cards for the Rath Yatra festival sitting right there in the lobby. So request devotees who would like to sponsor or be part of the Homa or any of these festivities, you can contact myself, Vidu Prabhu or Adhokshesh Prabhu. They will be there in the lobby. So that's the festival announcement. Today we are trying to do some cleanup and planting around the temple. We just finished the planting and now we are trying to clean up on the side and trim the branches. So request few devotees, we need help. We are 4 people outside, but we need little more help. So if devotees can spare little time, we are trying to move all the bricks that you see in the front. We are trying to move all those and put it on the side. So if you can, please come and join us and just give us a hand. So more hands, it will get done quicker. So if you can, please come, that would be great. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So also a few other things. Today, after like long gap of 2 years, we started Sunday school for the kids basically. It's a very amazing program. All over the world, ISKCON has been spearheading this, where parents can sit and attend to lectures while kids can attend Sunday school. It's very important when we are in a foreign country that you don't know, your kids are growing up, you don't know their sanskar, everything else there. And what better than being part of Sunday school where you can listen to Sanskrit, learn Sanskrit shlokas, associate to play dramas, everything. So if your kids are not enrolled, I strongly suggest that you should get enrolled in them. It's a wonderful, wonderful program for that one. Other thing, anybody coming for the first time? Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Would you like to say your name, Prabhu?
Grayson.
Grayson is here. Haribo. If you see Grayson was participating, he was actually first time Prabhu gave him Kartal. He was playing the musical and dancing also. I was telling Grayson that our movement is very simple. We feast, we dance, and we chant. So Grayson already done 2 things. So that's wonderful. So anybody else? It's okay, Prabhuji. I can see it. Yeah, thank you. Coming first time, Prabhu? What's your name? Nitin Prabhu, thank you so much. Haribo. Also, next week, as Shyam Prabhu said, it's Ram Navami. So we are very fortunate that you, from all the way from India, from the land of Jammu and Kashmir, a very special saint is coming. His name is His Holiness Yogendra Swami Maharaj. And he will be coming here and giving blessings to everybody, giving a small lecture on that. And so please be part of the occasion. We'll give the detail. I think there's a small correction, what Shyam Prabhu said. Our Sunday's program will continue from 4:30. And we are seeing if there's any initiation ceremony may happen, then we guys will update you. But so far it's 4:30 onwards, the program is going on for that. So I think without taking too much time now, we would like to welcome the speaker of today. He's a dear, our well-wisher of our temple and has been there for a long, long time guiding us. He's Shyam Krishna Prabhuji. Haribo. Shyam Krishna Prabhuji doesn't need an introduction. You know, he has been like for more than 35 years, he's been Krishna consciousness, all the way guiding so many different people in Krishna consciousness, all the way from Potomac to here. We were very fortunate to have his association 12 years back. Since then, he's guided our family, everyone there. This temple, he has been a big big factor for helping this temple be built by getting so many resources helping out. He's a surgeon by profession, but he recently retired, so they can devote more in Krishna consciousness. But I think he's a very well writer, so we'd like to listen to Shyam Krishna Prabhuji. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. We'll first sing Radha Madhav prayers. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य भगवत पाद स्वरूपाद की जय। जय परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य भक्ति विधान स्वामी स्वरूपाद की जय। All glory to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glory to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Situpakamalam Shri Guram Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakatam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayavasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll try. Is it okay? So today's topic is going to be glorifications of Lord Sri Ramchandra, as was announced. Lord appearance will be celebrated 1 week from today. Glorifying the Lord Ram is not easy subject matter, because how can we glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even with thousands of tongues, you cannot glorify. His glorification is unlimited. But we'll try to glorify with our limited understanding and limited abilities to glorify their Lordship. So we know that Krishna has many, many incarnations. There are 10 principal incarnations. And 7th incarnation is Lord Ramchandra along with his brother Lord Lakshmana. And of course, Sita Mai along with them. Every incarnation has a special reason, special missions that Lord appears in different forms. For example, when Lord Krishna came about 5,000 years ago, as he stated in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranayam sadhunam vinasaya cha duskatam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Lord Krishna had 3 missions: to protect the devotees, as he did it particularly Pandavas, the pious Pandavas, and he annihilated many, many demons starting from very infant age and all the way until the Mahabharata ended. And also, as he stated, the broken link of parampara he re-established by giving the Gita Upadesh to Arjuna, which we are following nowadays, which is the most essential book for developing Krishna consciousness. Similarly, Lord Buddha appears when there was rampant slaughtering of the animals in the name of sacrifice, as stated in the Vedas. People not understanding, they were killing the animals for their own satisfactions, left and right. So Lord Buddha appears and he preaches about non-violence. Of course, we know that follower of him, they're not really following the non-violence. Even including, I heard Dalai Lama eats meat, I think. So, which is but strict follower of the Lord Buddha are very strict, but they are very far and few. I had an incident visiting in New Zealand. We wanted to find a vegan restaurant so we can eat something. And when we went there, I requested the owner that, do you have any item that you can make it without onion and garlic? And he was very upset with me. What are you talking about? We don't eat onion and garlic. That is not in our religion. I was surprised because I never heard that pure Buddhists, they don't eat onion and garlic, besides being vegetarian. But they are far and few. Recently, only 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears, or Krishna appears as a combined form of Radha and Krishna. And his mission was to distribute the love of God, love for Krishna freely. Krishna Prem Pradayade. And also he demonstrated how we can do the devotional service, how we could be the best devotee by his own examples. And we know that from Chaitanya Charitamrita, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did it. So similarly, Lord Ramchandra had a mission. This was Treta Yuga. Satyuga has already gone. We were in Treta Yuga. And Satya Yuga was completely pure, but now slowly all the vices are coming in as the age advances. And foreseeing the future Dwapar and Kali Yuga, how the mankind will behave. So Krishna appears as a human, in the human form. So even though he's a Purushottam, he's called Maryada Purushottam. By his own example, he establishes how the human should behave. What is the duty of the human? And the entire Ramayana is based on, and his pastime is just demonstrating how humans should behave. Of course, we had a Manu Samhita, but how many people will follow? So, Lord appears personally to demonstrate as an ideal human being how should be behaving. And as we go through the pastime from childhood to him ruling the kingdom, he demonstrates Lord Krishna has established Varnashrama, Chaturvarna Ashrama, that Krishna has established for human to develop Krishna consciousness while enjoying the material life that we all wanted, and that's why we are all here. So while enjoying your material life, fulfilling your desires, how you can go back to Godhead. So for ashram, starting from Brahmacharya ashram, young Lord Ramchandra and Lord Lakshmana, they go to the Gurukula, I believe the Vishwamitra's ashram, and there were two purposes. Because they were very, very talented to young boys, and Vishwamitra wanted them to help them to protect from all the demons harassing them and doing all the sacrifices and everything else. At the same time, being in the princely order, they have to learn how to fight because being Kshatriya, that is one of the Varna, out of 4 Varna, Kshatriya is supposed to fight and protect. That is their nature. So they have to learn how to fight, how to use bows and arrows that was used in those days as the weapons. And they fulfill very ideally. And of course, the staying with the advanced sadhu and learning everything about, even in learning about how to live the normal life. Later on, as we know, Lord Ramchandra gets married, and that was also a very, very exalted event, because Janak Maharaj has asked that whoever can use this bow can marry to Sita. And of course, there were many, many powerful kings, including Ravana, very powerful demons. they all wanted to marry uh, Sita ji. And we know how he got married by not only lifting the bow but also breaking it, while trying to put the arrow on it. But now his grihasthasam starts, and as an ideal husband, he's supposed to take care of his consort, eternal consort, Sita Mata. And he just started his grihastha ashram, but then we all know what happens. Now, Lord Ramchandra was so attractive, and we know that Krishna means all attractive. The God is always attractive. It attracts not only the humans, but also the creepers and the animals are very attracted, because that's the Lord. We are all attracted. We are part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. And being part and parcel, we are always attracted to our origin. Our origin is Lord himself. So, even though King Dasarath was very, very pious king, everything was going nicely, but all the citizens, they were very, very anxious to have Lord Ramchandra become king, because he was so popular, so attractive, and everything that he did, was very, very mesmerizing, very wonderful, and of course in the Lord's pastime. Just to give you an example, that when the Lord is ruling, or when the Lord is there, all the living entities are very, 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 very happy and want to do something for the Lord. In Krishna's pastime, when Lord Sri Krishna and Lord Balram going through the Vraj, the creepers and the trees, they will bow down and trying to touch the Lord's feet, So here, Lord Ramchandra, who is Krishna himself. So all the citizens are very, 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 very eager, attracted, and wants him to become king. And knowing everything, Dasarath Maharaj decided to make him king. And everything was planned out. And by providence, what happens that, as you all know the story of Ramayana, Dasarath Maharaja's one of the three wives, Kausalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. So Queen Kaikeyi happened to be awarded 2 promises by Dasarath Maharaja, because she helped him. And her maid, who was very envious of Lord Ram, because demons are always envious of the God, that is the nature of the demons. She kinds of brainwashes Kaikeyi, who loved Lord Ram, because everybody loved Lord Ram. There was no question about that, that was not her own son. But even Kaikeyi loved Lord Ram because he was so attractive, so cheerful, so much pleasure-giving personality, that she would love Lord Ram more than her own son Bharat. But it was arrangement that she was completely brainwashed, and she wanted her son to become king. And not only that, but Lord Ram should go 14 years in exile. Now here the Lord Ram, the glorious Lord Ram, established the human behavior. That is the point, that these are all the incidences of past time, but exemplary personality, because he is now a son, and how son should behave, what should be the behavior of the son, ideal son, how should he behave? Because King Dasharatha also loved Lord Ram. Everybody loved Lord Ram. And now, King Dasharatha cannot even ask, after promising Lord Ram to become king, that, okay, now you will not become king and you have to go to forest for 14 years. Lord Ramchandra is an ideal son. Ideal son. He understands the situation of his father, and as a very obedient, well-behaved son, he himself decides that I'll be going to the forest for 14 years and I will not accept to become king. Of course, when this news spreads, the whole Ayodhya goes into shock, except in the palace of Kaikeyi and Manthara. Everybody's in shock. But this is the behavior of a son to his father. Just like our behavior with our Guru Maharaj, our spiritual master. We should be doing something before spiritual master asks you to do. That is the best disciple. Not until he asks. Most of the people will do when spiritual master will ask that, can you do this one for me? Most of the spiritual master that I know, they will not even ask, because they don't want. They know our nature, that we are so fallen. So similarly, the ideal son will help the father, will help his anxiety, help him to get the relief from whatever situation the father might be in, and give up own interest, set aside own interest and help the father. So he decides to go to the forest and give up the throne. But he's also ideal husband. And his eternal consort, Sita Devi, she was the ideal most wife. And as we know, that wife, whom we also call Prakriti, and man, Purusha, Prakriti always serves the Purusha. Of course, we are all Prakriti. Ekle Ishwar Krishna and also Bhrutya. We are all servants of Lord Sri Krishna. We are not enjoyer. But in the line of, we behave because, we got a man's body, the other entity got a female body, and we know that, the natural thing is that female or wife serves the husband. And Sita Mata, who was brought up in a princely life as a very, very, very attractive, well-behaved daughter for Janak Maharaja, she never saw any kind of things, she has everything available to her, she has so many maid servants to help her, But no, my duty is to serve my husband. I cannot be staying in the palace and my husband will be in the forest. So she decides to go. And when she requests Lord Ramchandra about going to the forest along with him, Lord Ramchandra cannot deny, because he is ideal husband. He's supposed to, as an ideal husband, he's supposed to also protect you. So here also he acts as an ideal husband, and even though he did not want to put his wife into difficulties, but he could understand, and he takes her to the forest along with him. So he behaves as an ideal son, ideal husband, and later on we learn that he was the most ideal king. People today, still to this day, people talk about Ram Rajya, because that was the most ideal ruling that in the history of mankind. And all the citizens, including all the living entities, not just the man and humans, but also the animals, birds, beasts, they were all happy. And they all enjoyed the ruling of Lord Ramchandra. There are so many instances about how he ruled and how people were happy. Nobody has any anxiety. Nobody was starving. People were living their houses unlocked, open, not even, forget about locking, not even door closed. Everybody free. I mean, that is the most ideal way. Look at now, we have security after security and CCTV and so many things, So that is how we live. But that is how it was under the ruling of Lord Ramchandra. So much so that as an ideal king, he wants to be above any criticism. And as it happens that one day, in a disguised way, he goes around to see how my citizens are doing, and he overhears the criticism about having Sita Mata with him, living with him. We know that any married woman, if he stays overnight with other than husband's house, is like rejected. I mean, people may not agree, may criticize that what is that, cannot have any independence. But we know that even late as Krishna's pastime, 16,100 queens were abandoned for the same reason, even though they are pious. Sita Mata had passed the test through going through the fire to prove her purity. But no, she stayed in captivity at Ravana's place. So how can king can be, who is supposed to be most ideal to lead the citizens, how can he do it? So Lord Ramchandra had to give up on Sita. Of course, she goes into ashram and stays, well cared, The other thing about ideal, how ideal he was as a human behavior, that in those days, I mean, even up to now, kings, they can marry any number of wives, not just one or two, 10, 20. We know Lord Krishna had 8 principal queens, but he also had that, 16,100 that were abandoned by their husbands because of they were captivated. So even though his own father had 3 queens, but to establish one man, one wife, one husband, one wife, to establish that practically, he could have married another queen, but no, he stayed perfect Vanprasthashram. So he's demonstrating through his behavior how can be the best brahmachari, how can be the best son, how can be the best husband, how can be the best king, and how he can be also in a renounced order. As I heard, he could have married any number of ladies. They would love to marry him, but no, he wants to establish you can have only one wife. That is most ideal way for the human being. But if he does not do it, then how do you expect the citizens? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that whatever is shrestha, the best people do it, the common man follows. Krishna also tells that even though he had no obligation, no duties to perform in 3 lok, but he does, Lord Krishna also does the same thing just so the common people can follow what is the ideal way to follow. Also about Lord Ramchandra, just like all the avatara, we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Kripalu he was. Freely he loved, freely he distributed the love of God. Lord Ramchandra was also same way. There is a bhajan that Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Harana Bhava Bhait Darvanam, very, very famous bhajan. He's really Kripalu. He's also Patit Pavan, we sing, right? Raghupati Raghav Rajaram Patit Pavan Sitaram. To prove that, there is one incident that happens while Lord Ram is in exile. He goes to the, what is that forest called? Dandakara. Yeah, Dandakara. And of course he come across some hundreds of thousands of lot of saintly people doing austerity for many, many years. And when Lord Ramchandra passing through, they see him, and he was so attractive that they develop a desire to have him as their husband. Of course, Lord Ram cannot fulfill that desire because he has a one patni vrata. So, of course, in the pastime of Krishna's pastime, all these saintly people, they were rewarded by having the dance, ras dance, and also we know that famous thing about Vastraharan, at Chirghat, Chirharan, when all the gopis come in front of Krishna without any clothes on, completely naked, just to fulfill that desire. And also, how Lord is, how Lord is kind and merciful. So, similarly, same time, he come across one devotee, very low caste. Her name was Sabri. We all know the story, right? And Sabri was anxious. Somebody told that Lord Ram will come someday, and she was so anxious to have his darshan. But she did not have any means. But she will go in the forest where she lived and pick up the berries. Every day she will do all the ritual. Every day she will pick up the berries, make sure they are not bitter or something, She will taste it, and keep it, And when Lord Ram comes to her place, Lord Ram accepts those berries that were eaten first by her, because she wanted to make sure that, no berry is spoiled or bitter or something like that, As Krishna tells, in Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktiya prachati tadham bhakti uparutam ashnami prayat atmanah. He will accept even the smallest thing, even just tulsi leaf. As we know in the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya, he just tulsi and Ganges water, he was praying to please the Lord. And he was pleased, and he appears, as we knew. So he even, that shows, how kind and merciful Lord is. And Lord Ramchandra was to his devotee. Also, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nam Kari Bahuda Nija Sarva Sakti. Krishna, Lord Ram, put all his energy also in the name. There is no difference between the person Ram and name Ram, person Krishna and name Krishna. There is no difference. It is as potent as Sakshat Lord himself. And we know there are 3 incidences that we can prove how it was. When Sita Mata was kidnapped by Ravan and was kept in captivity in Lanka, and when Hanuman finds out where she is and what is she doing, and they want to now attack and get back Sita Mata, but there was a big ocean between Lanka and tip of southern India. So all this intelligent monkey army people, they write Ram on every stone and put it on the oceans, and they made a floating bridge. That is how powerful the name of the Lord Ram is. Also, in the original writer of Ramayana is Valmiki Rishi. We all know that Valmiki was a kind of dacoit and butchering all the animals, and it happens to be that he come in contact with the exalted devotee like Narad Muni, and he becomes Valmiki. But how did he become from a dacoit to Valmiki Rishi? Because he was not interested in chanting Lord Rama. So what I heard, that, Narad says, okay, just say Mara, Mara. Mara, and then Mara becomes Ram, and he look at what happened to him. He becomes from butcher to exalted devotee of Lord Ram. And Prabhupada tells in one of the lectures the story, same thing about power of the name and power of the Ram's name. That there was one devout Mohammedan Muslim guy. He happened to go through some kind of forest, and he faces a big, roaring, very fearsome boar. Bund bolte hai na. So it was a very fearful. And he got scared, And Muslims, they hate pig or bear. So he started haram, haram, haram. And from haram, haram, haram sounded like hey Ram. So he was like reaching out Lord Ram. And so happened, as Prabhupada explains in the class, that boar left him alone and left the place, and he was saved. So this is the power of Lord Ram, his power of his name. So this is Lord Ram. Of course, we know from how he was detached. The biggest detachment was you are supposed to become king next day, and you just give up everything and goes in a just pair of very, very simple clothes for 14 years. Isn't that biggest renouncement? It's the biggest. So there are so many characteristics of Lord Ramchandra. We can go on, but in the interest of time, I think I'll stop here. Maybe some of you might want to add some pastimes, some glorification of Lord Ram. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So please have some glorification of Lord Ram that you understood or you realize. Anybody want to say anything about Lord Ram?
The holy name of Lord Ram is so special that it says that 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu is equal to one name of Lord Ram.
That's right.
Very, very special.
Right, that is true. And Krishna, who is the source of everything, 3 to 1. But it is so a very powerful name, Even Lord Vishnu's name is very powerful too.
Yeah, I was thinking that when Lord Rama, Vibhishan comes to surrender to Lord Rama, Lord Rama gives him he accepts it.
Who? Vibhishan, huh?
Yeah, Vibhishan. Like when Vibhishan comes to Lord Rama to surrender to him,
Right.
he accepts him unconditionally. And then he tells also that anybody who surrenders to me and says, from this day, my Lord, I'm yours, then we'll accept him like that also. That is inspiring one also for me.
Right. Yeah, there are so many pastimes of Lord Ramchandra, and I just briefly touch, that how ideal he was king and how ideal human being. Because nowadays, if you cannot advance further, at least you can become a nice human being. That will be a big achievement, because human culture is going so downgraded that, everybody is becoming like demons. Behavior, butchering, killing. Every day there is news about some killing, mass shooting. I mean, that's how we behave, that's how we live. So it is nice to glorify Lord Ram, and it's nice to understand his pastimes and the instructions the most important thing is to learn the instructions from their pastime. Purushottam Prabhu, you have any comments?
You mentioned about the Manu Samhita.
Right,
It's very difficult to follow.
right.
I mean, they say it's very, very hard to follow. No one can follow it. So you think, in your opinion, Lord Rama is the only person who can really give us example to us how to follow.
Yeah, he exemplified Manu Samhita actually.
Yeah.
He was the best Aryan, all Aryan culture was all about how to live the life in material life and go back to Godhead. That was the purpose. And that was demonstrated by Lord Ramchandra as best Aryan. And of course he followed because he's a God and he can do it, For us it's very hard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sham Krishna Prabhu. Lord Rama's pastimes cannot be told, but you did very nicely explain in a very short time. Really appreciate that. As we said, Ram Navami is coming next month. Not from next week, Sunday. So we have this week. If you have Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 10th chapter is Lord Rama's glories. It's very short, very nicely explained. Get a chance. If you don't have Bhagavatam, you can either get one or you can go online and say Srimad Bhagavatam, and beautiful chapter is written about that one. So you can probably these 7 days, you can meditate on Lord Ram, and then when the festival is, you can come and participate here. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's Ugadi. Ugadi, right? They celebrate Ugadi is a big festival. I did not know there. I know in South India, that Gudi Padwa is the base. Yeah. Is the New Year, and it's also, they celebrate even more than Diwali. I have two best Telugu friends, I do them, every year, I wish them, happy Ugadi. Yeah, right. He just like Mahaprabhu. He never revealed to anybody that, I'm Krishna. Only few very close, right? Close confidently. Because, he just behaved like a devotee. Devotee. Even though he's Lord himself, but, that's why very hard for some people to digest. There was a question raised, and Guru Maharaj was answering, that one devotee said, I heard everything, but I cannot really accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna. So he said that, no, you just chant. Don't worry about it. Just keep on chanting. But there you go. Right. Because he's so much good, he will give you the one day. Thank you. Thank you. Did you understand what I said? Was it easy to understand? Yeah, because people with Indian background, they understand because they know the story. But for somebody like you, not knowing the story, it's very little difficult. But this is one of the amazing amazing demonstration by Lord Ram, God, no? As an ideal human. Yeah, so this is Ram Katha. So Ram is the Krishna's, incarnation. Yeah. Rama means also Lord Balram, that you saw that deity. There, yeah. There is a big eye Jagannath, then there is lady Subhadra, and then on this side is Balram. Is also Balram, that is also Ram. There are actually four Ram. Balram, Ram that we just talked about. There is Parshuram, that is also incarnate of Krishna. And lately, Nityanand Ram, that is on this side, the first deity. Nityanand. Yeah, Gaurang is on this side. Nityanand is on this side. And they also call him Nityanand Ram. It doesn't matter how many offenses. We all have made so many offenses in our lifetime, so many lives that we have made so many offenses. The easiest way is just to chant Lord's name, and it is so powerful. As I mentioned, there are three incidents about how powerful the name is. So, name is so powerful that if somebody chants, that's why that whole movement is based on chanting Hare Krishna. If somebody chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is called the mantra, but not just ordinary mantra, it's a very powerful mantra. And no matter how much we have done wrong, because we have done so many things wrong in our life, we all, nobody is exception. It all can be eliminated as long as you continue chanting and not commit knowingly